Well, all right. We just gonna keep it on IG. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep it on IG. All right, now let me find Miss Williams. Peace, yo, 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 yo. What up? What up? All right, y'all. This is how it's going down. My fault for the inconvenience. I was attempting to go live on Instagram and YouTube at the same time, but unfortunately, with two microphone system, that's not possible. Um, yeah. So if y'all been following me, you know, I made a post about mental health and therapy, and so I did a little research and come to find out that you don't have to always go into an office for therapy. You could it's a thing called telehealth, and you could search therapists in your area, and you can search them by ethnicity, race, or whatever. Um, I wonder why Miss what's recording ain't able to join yet. Gonna send another request, and yeah, that's where we at. Peace, everybody that's here. Make sure y'all get y'all badges. There's a thing now called badges that we can have, right? Um, yeah. So make sure y'all get yours. What's up to everybody here? Peace, peace. What's up? What's up? What's up? Um, Miss Williams is joined, so as soon as she come in, we get this thing going. Um, Miss Williams, I sent you a request. Just waiting for you to accept it. Peace, peace to everybody here. United Minds. Okay. Um. Okay. Where's Miss Williams? I don't know what's going on, Miss Williams. Where you at? So yeah. So this should be very informative. This live. Just waiting for our guests to tune in with us. Um. You can accept the request. Yeah, send it. I can't. Yeah, yeah, accept it. I can't accept it for you. Yeah. How can I accept? I can't accept your request. Oh, there you go. All right, now we in business. All
My
right.
goodness, who is trying to stop this from happening, y'all?
Oh man, the whole music industry. I'm only kidding, but thank you for taking on a client such as myself. With so this is my first time ever, seeing a therapist.
Mhm.
So can you introduce yourself to my following? Let them know what you do, and you know, yeah, it's your floor, and I'm in your realm, and
Okay. First, I want to say thank you so much for having me. And I want to commend you for taking the first step on this mental health journey. And I appreciate the fact that you're willing to share this with your fans. This is a really intimate moment, and you're willing to be vulnerable enough to share this. So I commend you. I'm proud of you, particularly as a Black man. Mental health is such a stigma in our community. So I just wanted to say that to you.
Peace. Thank you.
So my name is Lakira Williams. I am a psychotherapist. I began my career in foster care in New York City, where I worked with children with mental health disturbances and emotional problems. And I also worked with their birth parents to help them, get the services they needed and to face the challenges they had, ranging from trauma to substance abuse, and just really letting them know that they had advocates for themselves. From there, I went on to run a residential program for teen moms in foster care. I moved to North Carolina, where I'm currently providing mental health services, individual and family therapy to folks. And I'm also providing clinical supervision to people who are looking to become fully licensed as therapists. So that's where I am now.
Okay. So here I am. I walk into your office. What's the first procedure, and what do we where do we go from there?
So this is considered your intake appointment. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions just to get to know you so that we can work together and create what we call a treatment plan. So you would literally tell me what it is that you want to work on so that you can become your best and whole self, right?
Okay.
And that is the key, right? We're not going to change overnight, but you want to become the most healthy you can be.
Yeah. I mean, that's the point, right?
Mhm.
So my first question, right? Because I wouldn't be me if I wouldn't ask you this, right? Who do you go to when you need somebody to talk to?
Oh, I go to a therapist. I want you guys to know that even therapists have therapists. I actually think it's healthy for a therapist to have a therapist. One, because we're all human, right? I've been through trauma myself, right? I have to process that. Two, because we're taking on so much from our clients. It could be it could be a lot. So we need someone that we can talk to as well, so that we do not create vicarious trauma, which is trauma that you acquire through dealing with trauma.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just wanted to know that.
Thank you for asking.
All right.
So how you feeling? You ready to get started? I know we're pressed for time, but we're going to
Um,
get started on this.
I'm great, man. I'm excited. It's been a long journey. Because again, the stigmas. You don't want to. I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, you know, especially coming up in the business I came in, you have to be very careful what you say and who you say it to, because people always will take it the wrong way. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
so I just said, for a long time, I needed to take this step. So here I am. You know what I mean?
Here you are. I'm really happy for you.
Let's get it.
All right, let's get started. So, have you ever been in therapy before? And I think you kind of answered that, but you can answer it yourself.
No, but you have been in therapy before because you have answered that as well.
I sure have. Thank you. So, this is our intake appointment. So, I'll be taking some notes, but I want to let you know moving forward, you'll have my undivided attention. I won't write, I'll be focused on you. But with this, I'm getting to know you, so I'm going to take some notes. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Are you married or in a relationship?
No, I'm not married, but I am engaged.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have children? What are their age and genders?
I have a daughter. She is 18 years old. She's currently in college, and I am currently in family court for children that waiting to find out the results of the paternity. And
Mm,
they are also 15 years old.
okay, okay. And how are you dealing with that? How do you feel about that?
Um, I feel bamboozled. I feel, what I mean? I feel like I have to take responsibility for something that I may have to take responsibility of something that I kind of didn't sign up for, but it's still held responsible. You
Yeah.
know, it's a very messy situation. You
Mhm.
know, it could have damaged friendships. So it's a lot that comes with it. It was out in the media. for someone else being the dad, right? So of course it's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that's gonna come with it when it hits the press and the media. If I am in fact the father of these children.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you take the time to really process that?
Um, from different angles, you know what I mean? For one part of me, it's like, you know, for the revolutionary and the person I am, I'm like, yo, you know, all children is our children, right? But you know, that's what you say for our community, right? On one hand, but on another hand, it's like I feel a way about the situation. You know what I mean? So those feelings that I have towards the situation that might not even be geared toward them per se, right? But just the whole situation in its totality, you know, I do feel some ways, and sometimes I get in my way. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much for sharing that. I know that wasn't easy. I appreciate it. So, are you currently employed or in school?
Well, isometric concepts is doing very well.
Mhm.
The rugged road to recovery. I have some music. Actor, rapper, entrepreneur. Yeah, but
Well,
your traditional 9 to 5, no. Um, I do plan to do some college courses. That was one of my plans when I got came home from my incarceration. Um, but then COVID happened, and I was unable to actually sign up for the courses. You know, the online thing with school is but I need that fire. You know what I'm saying? I need to get up and go, or I'll just,
I get
you
it.
know what I mean? I won't get up. I'll miss class.
I get it. Definitely. What kind of support system do you have?
Oh man, I'm building a support system. You know, I think that's one of the problems that I struggle with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, abandonmentship. Losing my mom. That that was my support system. You know, I have a family. I have a huge family, but within your family, there's little families, right? So when everybody got their little families and they with their little families, I'm stuck without a family because being the only child of my mother, you know what I'm saying? It's like when she died and she's gone, you know what I mean? And you know, it's my dad, but you know, he has other children. Like I feel like no one really hurt like I hurt with my mom, you know what I'm saying? Or feel like, because for so long it was just me and her. Like, you know, she had me at 16 and it was just us, you know. I'm learning to build a support system the about who I want to be. Not necessarily just because I grew up with you or I'm from you, I knew you forever. That, like, maybe that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I am a strong believer in building a village, and it doesn't always have to be the village that you, like you said, from birth or from young. You build a village and you surround yourself with people who make you feel safe. You put yourself in safe situations and people who support you and uplift you. So I absolutely get it. So I commend you on that. You mentioned losing your mom. I want to put a pin in that, and we're going to get back to that later. But I just wanted to point that out. That's huge. That's a huge loss. So we're going to come back to that if that's okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
What do you like to do for fun or to relax?
Oh man, it might sound weird, but I like to read. I
That's not
like to,
weird. That's awesome.
because some people may look at that as work. See, I became a vigor reader when I was incarcerated. Again, a lot of habits that I picked up was in there. Good ones, I must say. You know, because it allows you to go wherever that book takes you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And you can just go wherever.
yeah.
So I like to do that for fun. Just cool out. You know what I'm saying? Just chill, really, for fun.
Okay.
Peace is fun.
Peace is absolutely fun.
Yeah, that's fun. Especially, you know, you work. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, quiet is fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Do you consider yourself to be spiritual and or religious?
Like again, I'm the auto what's that the word, autodidactic. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a vigorous reader again, so I read different things, so I'm all over the place. Sometimes, sometimes I'm spiritual. Sometimes I could read religious stuff and see that perspective. To make a long story short, what I've learned in my own travels, and this is what I've learned to be my history. And it's like we read things and we study things, right? But the only thing that I know for sure is my own history. What
Mm-hmm.
happened in my life, and anything outside of that, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
So what I learned from my life is that little person that I hear inside me that guides me every time. And when I don't listen to that, I get in trouble. So
Mm.
that's what I go with. Whatever you say that is, maybe that's my subconscious or whatever it is. I've learned to start listening to that, and it's been leading me in the right direction.
I love that. I love that. How do you handle stress in difficult situations that come up in your life?
Um, Fuck it.
Mm.
Really, that's really my approach to things. If it gets too complicated, like I don't like complication. You know what I mean? Anything like that, I just like, yo, asset liability. I'm the type of person. I'm trial by judge. I'm not trial by jury. And what I mean by that is that I go off facts. Like, I don't really care how someone feels about something. I just give me the facts, and off the facts, I like to make logical decisions. Because in my life, when I dealt with the with the emotional part, I always got hurt. So I just like to deal with the facts, and it's like, yo, this is the facts. If you tell me, you can tell me to you blue in your face, I love you, I love you, I love you. But then when I show you, like, yo, A B C D D, no, you don't love me. Now what? You
Mm-hmm.
show me you don't love me, so stop telling me you love me, because I'm going by the facts. I'm not going by how I feel when I'm with you. I'm not going by how I feel when I'm not with you. I'm going by the facts. You know what I'm saying? And the facts of, in my life, I can show and prove to many people how I can feel
Mm-hmm.
that no, you don't love me, or no, you wasn't supportive, or no, you didn't ride out. And that's part of what I struggle with. That part, and then the forgiving part, right? To say like, yo, everybody got their own things, and you must be forgiven, and you must, so that's part of some of the things that I fight with in my mind.
Yeah. And I hear what you're saying, right? You deal with the facts. But do you think with that approach, you're avoiding what needs to be processed? Feelings, emotions. Do you feel like you kind of use that as a defense mechanism to avoid dealing with your feelings, emotions at times?
Sometimes if I feel the person or the situation is even worth dealing with it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If I made it in my mind like, it ain't even worth even addressing this situation, I'm gonna keep it pushing.
Got it.
And I guess that's something wrong too, right? Because that's a kind of like push it away type thing, and rather than deal with some things head on, I'd rather just let it go, because maybe the conditions that I was in had me to feel like that way. Like, yo, I can't do nothing about it, right? I can't go home because I want to go home. Or, yo, I can't make this person come see me. Or I can't, yo, forget it. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of anger too, right?
Yeah. And just building distrust for people, based on your experiences and the things that you have been through. And that in turn affects the way we deal with life. But like you said, I get it. When it's someone important to you, you're going to make sure you deal with it. But if you don't feel like they're really important to you, you kind of just say F it, right? But in turn, how does that make you feel? You want to make sure that you're dealing with it not for them, but for yourself.
Yeah, and that's why I'm here, right? Because you deal with it so long, and years and years and years and years of it. It's like, where do you go?
Mm-hmm.
Who understands? Like, even, I said, and not to be racist, I said, yo, I got to talk to somebody that can kind of relate to me, Like, I can go get a Harvard therapist that's been there, but how does that person relate when I say, yo, I had to, I had to go through this, I had to go through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. What do you consider your strengths?
My strengths, I think I'm a great listener. Um, and I think my strengths is, I would say I'm a team player, but I would definitely say I'm the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm the type of person, it's like, I see you, I got you. You don't never gotta say nothing if I could, right? So
Mm-hmm.
just an example. I'm with my boy. He
Mm-hmm.
got some beat up sneakers. I just buy the sneakers for him. He doesn't have to tell me he needs sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are like that, just like control, right? So
Mm,
if a person knows of your situation and they don't do nothing to help you in that situation, then what?
right.
They don't want to. Even if you ask them, they may do it, but they do it after you ask them. So what good is that really? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like me, I'm the type of person, I don't want it if it don't come from a kind gesture or out of your heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Thank you. What do you consider your weaknesses?
Mm. I would say my heart. I would say my heart is my weakness.
Tell me more about that.
Um, well, one, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm an emotional creature. You know what I'm saying? For one, but I love hard. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I love hard, and when you love hard, it comes with great disappointment times.
Mm. Have you experienced great disappointment time and time again?
Yeah, every day,
Mm.
some big, some small.
Disappointment, right?
Huh?
Again, how do you deal with that disappointment?
Um, Me personally, I've been learning to not have expectations.
Mm. Okay.
So if I take everything as a blessing and not expect anything from anyone, then it's a plus. I don't lose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because what's for me is for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I want you to work on this. I want you to work on allowing yourself the space to feel disappointment because we have feelings for a reason. We have emotions for a reason. So it's okay to say, damn, he really disappointed me. And you don't have to address it. You don't have to make a big deal about it. But I want you to start acknowledging your feelings as they come up. It's okay for you to be disappointed. It's
Yeah.
okay for you to feel betrayed. It's okay for you to be mad at someone. Allow yourself the space to really feel those emotions.
All right.
That's
Cool. Cool.
cool. Have you ever been given a mental health diagnosis?
Um, no, but when you go to prison, they do have you sit down with counselors and they do ask you a bunch of crazy questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I never made it past that point for them to say, yo, he
Oh,
got to go sit down with somebody. I think they might have said, you know what? Send him to the box. He thinks he's too slick. You
oh
know what I mean? Like,
no. Okay. Are you currently taking any psychiatric medications?
no.
Yeah. Do you have any health concerns or chronic health conditions?
No, I have psoriasis. I have psoriasis, but nothing like that. But that came from like eczema, and I haven't been having problems with that ever since I stopped eating beef.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't stopped eating
a
beef. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let me ask you this: Do you believe like some? Well, I won't say believe is when you don't have facts, right? Um, do you know if like illnesses and things like that, and from mental health, does that also comes from the things you eat in as well? Does your diet play a part in your mental?
So, okay, I haven't read any actual studies on it, but I have heard that there are things that you can incorporate into your diet. For instance, ADHD. I hear that there are things that you can incorporate into your diet that'll help you be more focused and less impulsive. But as far as actual studies, I can't honestly say that I have read anything, but that's something we can both look into together.
Okay.
Do you have any concerns with alcohol or substance use?
Oh yeah. Oh
Mm,
yeah, man. I partied like a rock star ever since I was, I was a young kid.
mm,
Um, I know the damage it caused. You know what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying, and I know what it could do. So I try to stay away from excessive drinking. Excessive indulging in things. That's why I drink the ish. Got to drink the ish. Non-alcoholic beverages. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And yeah. So, but a long history of it. My family struggled with substance abuse. My parents, my mother, she lost her life, so an overdose of heroin.
I'm so
Um, I lost. I struggled with PCP. For a long time. That was my choice of drug. The weed, the liquor, the partying, the women. You know, all of those things kind of like go hand in hand.
I just want to take a moment, a pause, to acknowledge that not only did you lose your mom, but you lost drug overdose. And how old were you?
Oh, oh man, that was right before I went to prison. I was I think maybe like 30, 31, 31 years old, maybe.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, in her death, it made me respect life a lot more, right? Because my mom, she passed at 48 years old, and I'm not too far from there, right? And a lot of these things that I'm addressing now, I imagine if she would have was able to address them, then maybe we would have a different outcome. You know what I mean with her. Um, but yeah, I experienced a lot of substance abuse. Friends, family, everybody gets nice, right? To the point that even when we lose somebody, to say that we celebrating a year memorial, we all get the henny and we all drink and we all do these things, right? Not not knowing these things that bring illnesses to our body,
Right.
and if we have illness with our body, we can't get life insurance. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're going to get high rates for life insurance because of the way we take care of ourselves, the food we eat, the things we eat, right? Then
Right.
also the conditions of our neighborhoods, right? And we catch felonies and things like that, and you can't get your policies is going to be high because of your criminal activities. So then you get to thinking, dang, man, we can't even pass off generational wealth to our family. We're just getting enough to bury them, and all that discipline and all it just get another bottle. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Vicious cycle, you
Yeah.
know? Absolutely. Have you ever experienced any physical, emotional, mental, or sexual abuse in the past?
All right, one at a time.
Have you ever experienced any physical,
Yes.
emotional, mental, or sexual abuse?
Well, all the above.
Mm,
Mental. It was like if anyone had a parent that was an addict, you know that when they got that high, everything's all good party, everything's a good old party. But when they don't got that bad, boy, you every bastards wish you didn't have you, all types of things. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Physical, been assaulted, I got cut on my face. You know, it does a lot to you. As far as being young and being 14 with grown women, today they probably would have been going to jail. But, it kind of messes up your relationships because you don't necessarily grow up with the same courting system. You know what I'm saying? You don't.
From you. And at that age, you're like, oh, I'm just bagging all these women, but not realizing that your innocence is being taken from you.
Yeah.
These are grown women sleeping with a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
That was abuse.
I mean, not for me, baby. You know,
I,
turn up. Come on, we ain't gonna put me out there like that. But I get it. I get it. And you know, when you think about it, if it was a little girl in that situation, they'd be locked. They'd be giving somebody 60 years, 30 years in prison. You
we
know
know
what I'm saying?
we
So
know it.
yeah, I totally understand.
We've seen it. Where were we? Abuse. Okay. Have you ever experienced any significant loss? And we've spoken about you losing your mom.
Oh well, we can the significant loss. We can go down right here, right? Pooh, this is my boy Pooh. I lost him. I got a
Mm,
whole scroll. I got my cousin Tawana, my grandmother, my grandfather, my cousin Candido, my aunt Lil Mommy, my
wow.
cousin, my aunt Dee Dee, my uncle Smokey, my boy Pooh, my boy Sandy, my mom's, my boy JD, Twin Glocks, Big L, Sax. Like, I lost a lot. I lost a lot of my friends. I lost a lot of my family, and you know, rappers, just so much loss. You
Mhm.
know, yeah. So that's one of the things that I said with my growth, all my rest in peace tattoos. I want to get cover ups because I want, at the time, it was a great idea, right? I was like, yo, I'm repping for them, I want to keep them alive. But I felt like I was holding them back too now. And I'm like, yo, I need to put life on me. You know what I
Mm,
mean? I just got to thinking like all these years, maybe part of my path was because I was, idolizing the dead. Like, you know what I mean? Putting them on my body. And it's like, yo, I just want to represent life and
yeah,
not death. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's with music, I wanna rhyme about life. I wanna do things that represent life. I don't wanna represent anything that comes with that because I know I went that route already.
yeah, yeah. That's a lot of loss, you know? Do you feel like you were ever able to grieve properly, to process that loss?
Um, I don't think we taught how, so I would say no. I mean, for me, how I grieved it, you know what? To be honest, no, because I wasn't even allowed enough time to grieve it. It's like as soon as you lose one person, it's like you're gonna just like another one be like right behind. You know how they say it comes in threes, so it was kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and every success came came a hardships. It was like how do you enjoy it? You know what I mean? You start to just be there and you don't live in the experience. And at a certain point in life, it just gets tiring of just being and not experiencing it and not being in the moment. It's like walking down the street and you're just so busy to catch the bus or the train or get to where you're going that you don't notice the landscaping and just the dog taking a crap and just all the little things, what I mean, that one day you're not gonna have.
Yeah. You mentioned something. You said we're not taught how to grieve. Tell me more about that.
um you have to be tough. You have to be tough coming from where we come from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to be tough, you know what I mean? Because, you might get your sneakers taken,
Mhm.
cry. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't gonna front like I ain't cry. I got that time I cried, but I waited till it was real late and I was in my cell and I was just crying to myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And in our community, particularly in Black communities, like you said, we're taught to be strong. You keep it pushing, or even if you're religious, pray about it, leave it in God's hands. But it's very rare that someone says, you know what, let's try grief therapy. Let's go to therapy. How are you feeling? How are you able to move on without that person you lost? And it's very important to take the time to actually process your grief, because grief is heavy and it can really hold you down. And grief doesn't have to be just mourning death, right? You can mourn a relationship, you can mourn a career, a job, you can mourn anything that's of significance to you that you've lost. It causes grief. And if you're not processing that grief, it just builds up and you don't even realize the effect that it's having on you. So when you lost your mom, were you given the space to process that grief?
Nah, because again, being the only child, right, I had to kick into getting what's done, right? So I had to properly um prepare my mom, you know, like get her clothes ready, you know what I'm saying, for the casket. You know, just seeing her being zipped in a bag. Like there's just certain things like, that just stay with you that never leave. And it's like, yo, that voice, you hear the voice, right?
Yeah.
Over and over. I hear her. You know that's real. That's hard to get by sometimes. I hear more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about that moment, and I know it may be hard just to go back, but think about that moment you saw mom being zipped up in a bag and taken out. If you can go back as an adult, what would you say to yourself? Well, as an older adult, what would you say to that person?
Um, feel. Try to feel something because I ain't feel nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember right after it happened, family and friends, everyone come and everyone be supportive, and and honestly, they tried to be there, but it's really nothing they could be to do, right? Somebody be like, "You good?" It's like I'm alright because there's really nothing you could do for me. You know what I'm saying? So I remember it's just like I was just drinking, and I was just drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking, and wasn't getting drunk, and I was just smoking and smoking, and like I smoked PCP, so but I wasn't high. And
Mm.
then one day I was just walking with nothing, and I just started crying out of nowhere. Nothing was wrong with me, and it just came out at that moment. You know what I mean?
It was time to release it.
Yeah.
So I lost my mom as well. And I completely understand what you're saying about in the moment you're just focused on trying to get the funeral arrangement together, making sure everything is situated. Um, but once all of that was over, like you said, I took that moment and it hit me,
Yeah.
right?
When everybody goes back to their regular life.
When your loved ones, I got back to my apartment. My mom lived in Virginia. I went back to New York and I let it all out, right? But the difference is I found this space to process my grief. I can imagine what I would have been like if I didn't go to therapy to process the grief and the loss of my mom.
Yeah.
So just to hear that you've lost so many important people in your life and you didn't feel like you were given that space. That's,
Well, I
that's
I did get that space, but it caused for me to crash to get that space
right.
because when I
Healthy.
went,
Yeah.
yeah, because when I went away, it was like everything stayed. And
Mm-hmm.
I had all the time to think and to learn myself, better.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you learn about yourself?
Um, I learned that I'm stubborn. I'm learned that it's my way or the highway, and maybe because I was always that kid, like, what I'm saying, I had great responsibility at 12, 13 years old. I had the crib was mine, I paid the bills, so it was like I never had a curfew. I never had never ever been like getting upstairs before the lights come on. Like, so then when you get rules, it's like I don't do well with rules. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I figured out. I said, man, you got to stop getting in trouble, man, because you don't like people telling you what to do. You can't go back in there,
Yeah.
you know?
Good. Self-reflection. That's another important piece, just looking back and figuring out what works for you, having self awareness. It's good to acknowledge that you're stubborn. It's good to acknowledge that you don't like rules. But how are you going to make sure that you're still able to function as a healthy adult with not liking rules, right? All right, I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, you do what you need to do, not what you want to do. And that, I think that's a part of growing up, because it's even some nights I want to go out, I want to go hang out, I want to go to a show, I want to go to a concert. But then it's like, yo, you know what? The people, places, and things, man. If
Mm,
if I really don't have no business there and I'm not getting no check there, this is fun now that I'm doing, because all the other people, they're getting paid to be here and they're getting a check. So what are you doing here? Are
mm,
you on idle time? and I don't really have idle time. I think I've wasted enough idle time.
This so important. Yes,
Uh,
you're really at a point where you're very self-aware. Are you currently experiencing any overwhelming sadness, grief, or depression?
um, it's funny you asked that. That's how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my mom passed away July 7th, and her birthday is July 10th. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So it's like, every time around this year it gets a little rough for me, and I was just speaking about it on a post one day, and then I was just like, you know what? It's been long enough. You need to start building with someone, with a therapist, and sharing it with the people who support you, because I really truly feel that everybody that follows me grew up with me, and they go through the same stuff that I go through. And hearing you ask me these questions, I can only hope that they're applying the same questions to themselves and answering this question, because that's what it's for. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have said, yo, let's do this in private, and then it doesn't help everybody. Like we each one teach 10, man, like my man Dr. Fuller said. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Yeah, I love that. This is just, this will have such an impact on our community. And again, like I said, I really commend you for sharing this with the world, basically. What would you like to accomplish in therapy?
um I would just like to accomplish. Well, I kind of know that I'm not alone, that I'm not the only one going through this. You know what I'm saying? That goes through things and trials and tribulations. So I think I function well with
Mm-hmm.
to-do lists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So
So
I
do I.
like to categorize it like, okay, if this is what's going on with me, and this is why I'm doing this, and this is why I'm doing this is what I have to do to correct that. You know what I'm saying? It problems drive me crazy. I'm a solution type of person. I don't like to hear, yo, this is going, well, what the hell are we doing about it? That's why even part of the decision to go live with you with my intake into therapy was because I always hear people say, oh, it's a thing in the black community that more black men need to speak up about it. Oh, we need to bring more awareness to mental health in the black community, right? And everybody tells you about it and they talk about it all day, but they don't show how do you go about it, right? The information, and then go through it with me. So I'm like, yo, you know what? Today's my intake, today's y'all intake. If y'all come and y'all stick around and y'all come to the Rugged Road of Recovery therapy sessions, then you know what I'm saying. Then y'all be along the ride with us, man, and get some of these answers to the questions you have.
That's right. That's right. I love it. So with that being said, how often would you like to meet for therapy?
Um, well, of course they do know therapy isn't free, right? So what is recommended, right? Outside of business, because again dealing with me and how my mind thinks, just being transparent, right? I'm like, yeah, the therapist said she needs to see me 4 times a week. I bet she does, right?
Four
you know
times
you know what I'm saying? Run up that bill, you know what I'm saying? So
weekly, and as you start to make progress, they would titrate down to biweekly. And then eventually you would get to once a month check ins. And then once you achieve your treatment goals, that's when we would terminate. It's something called termination. And we would really look back at the progress you've made and the goals you've accomplished. And we would end.
okay, so how jammed up am I now? How much therapy do you feel I need right now? Or am I good? Am I good? It's like, yo, he got it figured out. He don't even need this. I don't even know why he doing this. Let's wrap this up.
That's absolutely up to you. I would never tell you how many times you need to come see me. That's absolutely up to you.
Nah, but I enjoy it, and I think this is something we should do at least every Tuesday. I think we should make it a thing, and I think yeah, I think I can get used to it.
Good. That is great to hear. So, my last question, do you have any questions for me? But you've pretty much been asking them, but if you have any more.
I guess, for myself, I'm just excited to go on this journey, on this path, you know what I'm saying? What I probably would like to do is, give the opportunity for our guests that's in the chat room to maybe say a few words, or maybe if they want to, we'll take a couple guest people, just to, if they got something to say that's in the comments, and maybe you can answer the question. So yeah, at this time, anybody that's been following the intake of my therapy, if you have any questions that you would like to ask Miss Williams or myself at this time, would be a great time to do so. And we just, I guess, just give them a minute. And if you could just, I mean, I don't know, just some inspirational quotes or some good thoughts to keep us going for the night. You know what I'm
How,
saying?
how did it feel to be so open and transparent with your followers?
Um, I feel like I already did that all the way through my music. It's like, so me telling somebody that my mother was died of drugs, or they was like, duh, I been knew that, nigga. I heard that on the second album. Third, you know what I'm saying? I heard you struggled with drugs on your first and your second album. Um, so I think, yeah, I think they're well in tune.
Mm-hmm.
I think for them, what they'll be learning, I guess, is how I feel, the feelings. Like, because a story is just the shell, but this therapy is giving the emotion, and it's gonna give a lot of people a lot of insight on me as a person. And look, and on some real you know what I'm saying? Don't just make it about me, because everybody like to say, "Oh, yo, you going through this, you." Just take this time too to grow too, to ask yourself these same questions. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's all I have to say to the people.
Good. And what's your homework? What homework did I give you?
You gave
You
me homework?
forgot already. See? What do I want you to do? Allow yourself to what?
Uh Chill out.
Feel
Oh,
emo-
allow myself what peace?
feel emotions, no matter what
Oh,
you allow.
feel emotions. Okay. So my homework for the week is to feel emotions. So
Mhm.
how do we go about feeling emotions?
Don't dismiss them, right? Don't engage in something else to take your mind off of it. Really sit there and sit with the emotion, with the feeling, and say, like, damn, I'm pissed, or damn, that really made me sad, like, or I'm hurting. You just have to, and it doesn't take a lot. Just literally saying out loud to yourself, like, this is how I'm feeling. And it's okay for me to feel this way. And if I need to talk to someone, I can talk to them, someone you trust, right?
Yeah.
Um, but not dismissing those feelings, right? Not talking about the losses that you've had, like it's just no big deal. Those are significant losses. Being like, wow, like, what if a young brother came up to you and told you that they've been through everything you've been through? How would you respond? What would you say to them to encourage them?
Someone young. Have you
Mm-hmm.
been through what I've been through? Oh man, I would have to hug them. I have to tell them like, "Yo, come on," you know what I
That
mean?
so self that same compassion
Mm.
that you would show a young brother, show yourself that same compassion.
So sort of like you go back and protect the younger you, being the adult
Absolutely.
that you wish you would have had around. So you be that to yourself and others.
You got it. That's it. That's
Thank
it.
you for everything.
You
And I will see you here next Tuesday. You know what I mean? Everybody else, you know what I'm saying, tune in for, you know what I'm saying, Rugged Road to Recovery. Rugged Road to Recovery um, therapy Tuesdays. And eventually, we will have the Rugged Road to Recovery community, because those that follow me and and me and Miss Williams, my therapy sessions through it all, then we'll have group sessions, and we'll be one big old family.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and outside of the Rugged Road to Recovery, you can always contact Miss Williams. She's on Instagram. Um,
I'm on Instagram. My page is l.s.williams consulting. And on my page, you'll find my website as well. And you can reach out to me through my website or send me a DM.
Yes, and if you're interested in becoming part of the Rugged Road to Recovery therapist group community, you know what I'm saying, feel free to DM me and I'll sign you guys up for the community therapy sessions. And yo, we here. Thank you again,
You're
Miss
welcome.
Williams, for taking somebody with a scrambled mind like mine and put some order to these things. And yo, thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Peace. Rugged Road to Recovery. All roads lead to rugged. Peace.
Peace.